Hey, we freaking made it, my friends.
But did we though?
We did. What's 4 minutes? What's 4 minutes? Maniacs, welcome to 129.
Yes.
129?
Yes, it's 129. I like to call this episode Same Salt, Different Day.
Same salt every day. That's pretty fantastic. Welcome to the month of August 2021, Maniacs. We are a Salt Tier podcast. We are a video game podcast based out of the Pacific Northwest, not at Studio 2 and 2. Not anywhere near there. We're all at other phantom places. But we're having a blast. Some of us have PAX tickets. Some of us don't care. Some of us miss cosplay. I haven't had cat eyes in years.
Come play Final Fantasy. Have all the cat eyes you want.
Oh, jeez. But we are here, and there's also... Oh, my God, and we got Fun Celta in here. Oh, God, I don't have a YouTube tab. This is a video game podcast where your argument is...
Invalid, for sure.
Thank you. And... we are brought to you by the lovely people of... Oh, wait for the turn. Ooh. Wrong way. Voodoo Ranger IPA. Maniacs, this is some serious beer, especially if you're in the area and the city that we live in. We absolutely adore IPAs here, and New Belgium does a very, very good job of making them. In particular, Sage Bell has...
I have the V2K IPA. It is a 6.9%. It's a pretty smooth IPA.
That'll get you there. What do you got there, Saverings? ...
I have uncracked as of now. I just got the New Belgium IPA, the Voodoo Ranger.
Nice. And then I'm gonna do the little one hand.
I'll do it. Ooh, nice ASMR to be picked up on your MacBook.
I know, Maniacs. Well, no, I'm on a Corsair headset. Thank you very much.
Here we go.
I got. Oh, that shit. I talked through that one. That was gonna be the one. Sorry, Lauren. Thank you, New Belgium. Because I got old man belly, and they know beer makes me a little sick in the tumbly. They gave me a fruit splash, pink lemonade seltzer, coming in at 1 gram of carbs and only 100 calories. So you drink 20 of these and you reach your caloric intake.
Ooh.
That's how...
20?
Sage Bell, is that how that works?
I guess.
You'll be unconscious long before that.
Yeah, because 10 would be 1,000. Yep. 20. 20 and and I just tripped on myself. Okay. and that's where I am in this life. Maniacs, if you don't know enough about New Belgium, and specifically Voodoo Ranger, it is an IPA line that doesn't really take itself too seriously, but they are definitely hop forward. They're B Corp certified. They're employee owned. And tons of expressions to explore. Some of them are hovering around the low 5s. Some of them get hilariously close to 10%. Am I right? They had some 9%ers in there, right?
Yes,
yeah.
They do have some stuff. All of them will creep up on you if you're not careful.
And some of them very approachable IPAs. That's the problem with a lot of IPAs have is some of them are just freaking hop bombs, and they just... There you go. Hey, there. Now I got the Ranger with me. Sadu. But big thanks to them. Also, of course, big thanks to Craving Amazing and Bonus Round. And I guess Trinity? Sure.
Yeah.
Trinity works with us.
Right.
Yeah. Check out more at newbelgium.com. VoodooRanger.com? I actually don't know what their .com is.
Just Google it and you will see it.
Yeah, Google it. It'll be through the New Belgium website. It's New Belgium /beer/Voodoo Ranger IPA. So, yeah, just Google it. Or, use any search engine. Saverings ... List a couple search engines our maniacs can use.
Alta Vista GeoCities.
Thank you. Oh,
America.
GeoCities had a search engine. You're
They did.
right.
CompuServe had one. AOL. These are all viable. Ask Jeeves. These are all viable.
Okay, calling shenanigans on that one. Oh, and we got Hot Riku Girl.
So Beta Ranger does have its own website, but it's not the same what you would expect. But one of the first things you can click on is the boutique, which takes you to their merch store.
Of course. What they got in there?
It's called the boutique. Let's see. We got V2K jersey. They also are selling like the jacket that's on this. So it's a throwback jacket.
Yeah, you're totally right.
They have a neon sign. The bobblehead, playing cards in a really cool little card holder that looks like a book. And then they have little Voodoo Ranger action figures and play glasses.
Nice.
That's
posters.
While we're speaking on merch and jackets, I'm literally asking for a friend. My next door neighbor wants one of those brown jackets that Loki was wearing that says Variant on the back.
That was a giveaway at the Kevin Smith Batman Beyond podcast.
Oh boy, Kevin Smith. That's a whole episode of a whole other show right there right now.
Oh, talking about how much you love Kevin Smith.
Oh, what? It happened. It finally happened. And it finally happened to Kevin Smith. It's sad. Anyway, that's a whole other show, you guys, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? What's funny is I was looking through my search history to see what we were going to talk about, like see what video game stuff I had looked up, because that's usually what I do. I just go back and look at all the stuff I looked up over the course of the week.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really looked up that much video game stuff because I've been heavily playing one video game in particular, and everything I looked up was related to that game. But all the other news I was looking at was like just random entertainment stuff, random video game stuff that wasn't really news. And then all the rest was like Kevin Smith He-Man stuff. And it was just like, this is all I got.
And you're the biggest. How many t-shirts did you buy? Like 5 or?
Of He-Man? I'm sorry, of Masters of the Universe, because it's not He-Man anymore. That's not really that big of a spoiler anymore. But
yeah, I wasn't. But I went back and looked at the show. It's totally called Motu. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
I thought the show was called He-Man.
No.
And then I went down and he corrected his co-host. He's like, all the hardcore fans, they go to conventions, they call it Motu. Like they all say Motu, Motu. And his show is not Motu. It's Motur.
Yeah. We call it they person in chat. It's not He-Man, it's they person.
They person?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, why not? Why not?
Mm-hmm.
But we talked about this a couple episodes ago, that I wasn't into G.I. Joe and He-Man. They just didn't appeal to me. I was a Ninja Turtles Transformers boy.
For sure.
I didn't want to play with just like muscle guys. I thought it was lame. I was like, they're just
Let me stop you there.
people.
Let me stop you there, because some of the most badass fictional women in all of fiction are in G.I. Joe. You got Scarlet, you got Lady J is my favorite. She's like my second favorite G.I. Joe.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah.
The Baroness, dude. Come on, the Baroness. Who doesn't love the Baroness?
So, but they're all just humans to me. I had a Shipwreck action figure.
Shipwreck was amazing.
My dad was a sailor, and Shipwreck had a parrot.
Yes, Polly.
But other than that, I look at Lady J, or you look at Flint,
Scarlet, CoverGirl,
and you put
Jinx.
that next to Usagi Ojimbo, or
Jinx would beat him. Jinx got the plot armor. All she has to do is cover her eyes, and she can beat anybody.
Whatever. That being said, let me tie this in to our super producer. If you think there's not going to be a video game tie into this show, you're bananas. It's coming.
To He-Man?
Video games? Yeah. You mean to Motur? Yeah, to Motur.
I'm calling it He-Man, damn it, because that's what we always called it. And we were promised the show was going to be a continuation. And you know what's fine? You know what's fine? If they had just said that this is like an alternate universe take after the second season, because the original show went for 2 seasons, like this is how we want to take it after this. And then people, if they didn't like it, they could have been like, okay, well, that's where it went in this direction. But we could still like have our headcanon and still go this direction. And people would have been, I think, generally fine with that. Yes, they would have been bummed, but they wouldn't have been like, hey, you lied to us type thing. So whole other show.
Okay. That being said, to introduce ourselves, Maniacs, this is obviously the Masters of the Universe podcast. I am Loud and Brown, at Loud and Brown on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to catch these hands, if you want that smoke, I am Gross Steph with a PH. That's on PlayStation and on Steam.
I see Goon PMW is practicing his guilty gear right now. So if you want to catch him too,
I mean, I could try to catch him. He'll dust me easy. That dude has been putting in work.
And I've seen him dip his toes into some Final Fantasy too, just to see what the hubbub's about. I pinged him the other day. He was playing that. He's way ahead of me in that game.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's got a couple of level 80 characters. I'm still grinding to my first one.
Okay, well, that's me. I mostly play Guilty Gear Online and Tekken. I used to play Overwatch. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Going up to Masters of the Universe, Kevin Smith fan number 1. Saberings ... Introduce yourself. Was that a good intro?
Yeah, it was. It's fair. It's accurate. Hello. This is the Saberings ... How's everyone? It's good to be seen. It's good to see all of you, hear all of you, see you in the chat. I'm just happy to be alive, you guys, because we live in some crazy times, and I'm happy that video games and Masters of the Universe and He-Man is what we have to complain about. So I'm just thankful for that at this moment, and we'll just go from there. I'll kick it off to right here, future Vieira in Final Fantasy 14. Sage Bell.
Hi.
Those are the bunny girls, by the way.
They might not know. I guess that's fair. Yeah, Sage Bell. You can see me on Twitch Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. normally. I usually start earlier. I switch my games up because it's an adventure every week. This last week, I actually played a couple games because I also streamed on Friday, surprise. And that night, I played We Happy Few.
You play what now?
We Happy Few.
I got it.
Did they ever tighten up the performance and stuff on that game? Did you play it on Game Pass?
Yeah, I'm playing it on Game Pass.
Okay. Nice.
I'm not sure what the issue with performance was. So.
When it first came out, it ran kind of clunky, but I think they fixed it since then.
Yeah, I haven't really experienced much issues in that aspect. My issues run with like just me being able to play the game kind of thing, like
Nice.
skill.
Yeah.
But I haven't died, so I'm doing fine there. I just have to panic and run a lot because I trip the people see me and then I'm like, fuck, I gotta either kill somebody or I gotta book it.
You know what, Loud and Brown? I think we found the type of game that Sage Bill likes. He likes games where you panic and run a lot. I think that's like the through line in your game.
That's a new genre.
Mm-hmm. Panic and run.
Oh yeah, you like PRs? Oh, what's that stand for? Oh, panic runs.
Yeah.
You never played a panic run? That is a genre.
Okay.
Those survival games are pretty much that. It's like when you're out of ammo in Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, and I'd be playing like a game with my dad, and I'd just be running back from the dungeon, and I'm like, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
And how He-Man runs away from Skeletor because
that's the that's the original EverQuest too, because all the dungeons and stuff weren't instanced, so everybody would just be running in there, and it was just a free for all. So if you were in there farming something or something got out of hand, you were making a beeline for the entrance. So it was like train to entrance. So you had to be paying. You couldn't go AFK because you would just get mobbed by like whatever 50 things were chasing somebody at that moment. So yeah,
that's rough.
Mm-hmm.
You just start yelling, mistakes were made.
Yeah, basically.
Wait, so in EverQuest, could you kite villains out of a dungeon?
No.
Okay, they'd stay in. Okay.
Yeah. Each dungeon was like its own zone, but they weren't instanced. So it was like so and so boss is up, and you need that for your epic quest or whatever. Like so did the whole rest of the server. So it was like everyone.
Exactly. So that was an old World of Warcraft glitch. Is you can kite certain bosses out of their instance.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you would be on like a level 40 something. It wasn't an instance, like it would be like a world boss, right? But you could kite them out of their area where all the young players wouldn't be at anyway.
Yeah.
And some people would kite it all the way back to the spawn place. And I think it's Kazakh at Windstorm. There's like videos of it of Vanilla WoW.
Like from like back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
someone took footage of this, and he's a hero that has like multipliers to his damage, right? And when he kills a player, he gets, I think, a damage boost, or he gets replenished health. Anyway, the more he kills, the stronger he gets.
Mm.
And you see him at the spawning zone. He just stomps. And you see like 3 brand new players get dusted, and they had to shut the servers off. They couldn't fix it.
Nice.
It's pretty funny.
Nice. I want to say I've seen something like that. I always think of the old WoW funeral, when they had a funeral for like a player that had passed away or something in real life, and like the other side, the alliance or whatever, like shows up and like just like wipes out everybody as they're like chilling at this like funeral for somebody in the game, and the other team just shows up and just kills everybody, and it's just carnage, and everybody's just like that was just brutal. Like, who put that together? You're going to hell.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh
Yep.
my god.
And speaking of games that are better than EverQuest and World of Warcraft, we have a very, very fantastic MMORPG from my dudes. Oh, you can't see it. At Square Enix. Hey, Saverings, ... Did you maybe put a couple hours in on a game this week?
I have 320 hours on this game in like the last like 5 or 6 weeks. It's kind of ridiculous. I've been
is
working this more than my
ridiculous.
job. So
You like it that much?
I do like it that much. I liked it a lot when I played it at launch, and I always
Whoa.
told myself if I win the Powerball or something.
Sage job icon? Wait,
I'm
what
gonna-
is happening?
Yeah. So basically, there's a new class that they're adding to the game. It's called a Sage. They're a healer / DPS, more so a healer, but they do damage. And each class has their own icon. So like a paladin is like a little shield with a line through it, and like a marauder that uses the big 2-handed axe. It's an axe, and or it's like an axe head. Each class has a little icon next to them. They each have their own little symbol. So the Sage job they're going to had little lines coming off of it, and at the end of each line at the base there was little holes. But I guess that's actually like a phobia that people have. It's like objects with little tiny holes in it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, triphobia, trypophobia, or fear of things with holes in it. So they had to go back and take the holes out of that because people were complaining because the holes, I can't look at it.
Is that on this article from PC Games?
Yes.
Hey, London. Yeah, scroll please.
Yes.
We got nothing.
So they realize it's a small amount,
Like a
but people are there's no photo. I thought they would, but here's a picture.
They don't want to trigger.
Here's a picture of a Sage right here. So yeah, if you wanted to play a healer that's got some damage and their little symbol doesn't have holes in it, that's the class for you, I guess.
That's a real thing. That's why there's a very specific type of Japanese horror movies called body horror, and it's like wasps infesting in people's arms and like or technology taking over and wires going into people's like necks and stuff. It's like body horror, like you being infested.
Yeah, and stuff like Cronenberg movies. If you're not familiar with him,
exactly.
He's the guy that did The Thing, and he did the special effects for The Fly, like stuff like that, where people's are just losing their shit, like literally. RoboCop would be another good example of a body horror type movie. So yeah.
Well, that's kind of fun and interesting, man. But the game's doing well. You're having fun.
The game is fantastic. Like I said, I played it back at launch, and I loved it back then. But real life and stuff got in the way, and I wanted to play some other games and stuff. But I was like, but I always knew I would come back to this game, and I was always like, if I win the lottery or something, I'm beating this MMO. Like I'm just gonna just beat this. I'm gonna do all the things on this game. So I saw it trending and stuff, and I'm like, And then I saw there's a new expansion coming out in November, and I'm like, if I start now, I could get at least one character up there. I already have an account. So yeah, I started it up, but I started over because if you bought it at launch or bought it on any other platform before it came out on Steam, it wasn't on Steam for like the first 1.5 years it was out.
Yeah.
But if you bought it and played it through any other version of the launcher, you can't play with those characters if you launch it through Steam. So I had to create a second part on my account. So my account has my original character who I still see on there, and then it has a second part. You can have like up to like 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 different tabs on your. You can have sub accounts on your account. So I made a new one, made it through Steam, and then I started over from scratch, which was fine because I had forgotten a lot of the story and I wanted to be caught up and stuff like that anyway. So I already way past where I was before when I played it for like a year when it first came out.
Okay.
So yeah, loving it, having a great time playing as my paladin. I unlocked Dark Knight. That's the second thing I'm going to level up once I hit level cap on my paladin. I'm going to go back, and then I also unlock Ninja. I'm going to get Ninja, and then probably Red Mage because Red Mage, Ninja, and Paladin was what I wanted to level up when I played Final Fantasy XI. And this game basically is the spiritual successor to Final Fantasy XI. Same races, they just renamed them. A lot of the lore is like kind of the same. I got to this new area today, and this one bug that I used to farm when I was like level 20 on Final Fantasy because they dropped these things and you could sell them for a lot of money. So I got rich when I was like level 20. The same bugs that I killed in that game, I just got to a new area at like level 65 and they're there. And I'm like, oh, it's the same enemies. Like, that's cool. Like, stuff's carrying over. I like that. And basically every enemy that's ever been in a Final Fantasy game is in this game. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, loving it. Highly suggested to people. It's free trial. You can play up to like level 50 or 60 without paying a dime. It's worth it if you're into MMOs. If you're into Final Fantasies at all and not really into MMOs, it's worth it too. So yeah, having a good time.
Oh, but okay, so that's fantastic. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, and anybody that has listened to this podcast, that has listened to this jackass talk, knows that I've always fancied the idea of modular consoles. And versions of that has happened in the past. Like the Xbox 360, you're able to get different hard drives, right?
But it wasn't a difference of the hardware, though.
Yeah, that was storage space. And, you know, even, oh my God, the Genesis with the 32X and the Sega CD, like those are such cool ideas. Like, hey, we don't want you to buy a whole new system, but can we piggyback on this thing that's already hooked up to your TV? I love people thinking like that. So, PlayStation has, you know, it's not completely modular, but internal SSD gets to be upgraded. But what are the weird requirements?
Well, for one, it took them this long to do it. Two, it has to be the newest format of SSDs, which is version 4.0. A lot of people don't really have all that yet. The PlayStation 5 is the first mainstream electronic that you see with it. I believe the Steam Deck is going to have It's going to have version 4.0 in there. And the Steam Deck is also a good example of the hardware itself not changing, but you can change the storage, and it comes in different storage variations. But the hardware itself is the same across all three different SKUs. But basically, it's very picky about which. First of all, 4.0 hard drives are very few and far between, so you have a very limited choice there. And then out of the limited choice you have there, because they're newer, they're more expensive. Then out of the limited choice you have there, only a couple have been certified by Sony to actually work on there. So it's a lot of caveats to jump through and such. And this is a beta of the firmware. I don't think this is even like the official launch of it either. So things could change. You could buy one of these and it can brick tomorrow. So. But it's a welcome. It's a welcome.
I know.
Addition.
At least you have the option.
Yeah, and the storage fills up rather quickly if you're playing something like Borderlands and Call of Duty. You just filled up like 3/4 of that hard drive. So.
I guess that's true. Yeah, you're right. Because when in the beginning of quarantine, all I was doing was playing. I was playing Warzone and Apex. And then someone brought up downloading another game, and I told them, I got no other games.
Yeah, my kids are playing Warzone actually at the moment. Well, why are you talking about that? Instead of playing it.
Oh, they're playing on
they play
Blizzard game that isn't associated with the other company at all.
Yeah, they play it. One's playing on PC and one's playing on the Series S.
Oh goodness.
Yep.
And they're probably playing together because it's crossplay.
Yeah, until I kick them off, because once they're on there together, they turn into just idiots. So I'm just like, you play in your own queue, you play in your own queue, because you even fight online. So like, just stop, just break it up.
That's a gaming dadding.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming dad move.
Yeah, I made them all install Fortnite because they kept jumping in the same game together and then arguing with each other. So I just didn't want to hear it.
Good move. That's
real siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So, do these kids play flight simulators?
They did. They played it briefly. That just came out on the Series S. The console version of that game just came out. I installed it. I have a Series S, which is the least popular. The least. Sorry about that,
Whoa.
London.
Adidas, baby.
Yep. So yes, Flight Simulator, which you guys have heard me talk about here on the show before. It is a technical feat. It is pretty amazing if you ever get a chance to mess around with it. And now more people will have the chance to mess around with it because the console version came out. And this is specifically for the newer Xboxes. Even though today I saw rumors that there's a rumored version for the One X. I don't know why they would do that. But there's a rumored version for the One X, the previous generation flagship Xbox. And it runs. That's all you need to know. It runs and it runs well. The Series X version is, yes. The Series X version is more on par with a PC version running the game on high to medium settings. And the Series S has some caveats. There's some pop-up. There's a little less detail, but who cares at that point? I mean, it's working and it works fine. So just the fact that it's on a $300 gaming system is pretty cool. So if you haven't had a chance to play it and you own one of the new Xboxes, go ahead. It's on Game Pass too. So just go ahead.
That's quite impressive.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it. Fly over your house, fly over your high school,
Wave.
fly under Deception Pass like I did. It's pretty fun. There's some fun stuff to do on there.
Well, Loud and Brown's got a topic coming up. And this only happened today. I know, I only added it recently, but we have a video. We don't need audio, London. But I just want to talk us through this, especially when we got old heads like me and Saverings that played some games back in the 90s. And probably the early 90s. We're talking Streets of Rage 4. And
which I haven't played yet.
To all you suckers that haven't played it yet, it is, you know, when you're shouting at your TV, for example, you and your experience with Masters of the Universe, and you just have so many ideas in your head. Mm-hmm. Wait, did I put a link, London? I did.
I will say this. I'm not Masters of the Universe. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
No, I get it. So, and the same thing happened with Episode 7, and the same thing happened with, you know, all of these reboots. Everybody has things to say. When Streets of Rage 4 came out, so many of my friends kind of walked through it going, did they think of all the things we wanted from a beat 'em up? And, you know, at the end of it, we thought, you know, a training mode would have been cool, some different modes, and, you know, maybe a few more characters. And this DLC, look at this. They added a training mode where you could practice your combos. You could program bots to do certain attacks. You could set up the room to be a bunch of really smart AIs or just a bunch of dummies to practice massive combos on. Look at all these options. Yeah. It's freaking great. Side-scroller beat-em-ups don't have practice modes.
No.
I can't name a single one. And look at the room you could do. It's chaos.
Yeah.
You could just body yourself and then figure it out.
I hate those chicks with the whip. Oh my god, I hate them.
Yeah,
they're so
rough.
cheap.
I know, and they're a play on Poison from Final Fight. Everybody always said this is the poor man's Final Fight when it came out on Genesis. And they added 2 new characters, the 2 on the right. Freaking fantastic. The one on the right is a pretty obvious rip on Guy from Final Fight. But it's fine. Everything is fine. It's all fine.
And it's not like Final Fight's doing anything with those characters, so.
No, they're not. Well, they're just throwing them in Street Fighter, and they're making money that way. And then this one, they added, you know, a nice, super tall, muscle-bound woman, femme character, which, you know, I don't know exists in a side-scroller, now that I think about it. Because Blaze and Maki from all the other side-scrollers are, you know, medium build to small. And now they got this like ground and pound, like MMA character, and look at this.
Right there.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, she looks cool.
Yeah, that's who I'm playing.
She looks like Abby from Last of Us 2.
Exactly. That's who I'm gonna use. Look at her.
Yeah, she looks cool. That's how I would use too.
That's freaking tight. I'm all about it. Yeah. And you know, there's just certain things about that kind of character design that I'm attracted to. In Street Fighter 4, I played Makoto. Street Fighter 5, I play Colleen. In Guilty Gear, I play Giovanna.
Oh, what they put the kangaroo
Hey,
back
but
in
yeah,
here.
he's a secret character. You have to enter a secret code, and apparently he's busted. Look how strong he is. Just untouchable.
I totally forgot about the kangaroo.
Yeah, Rue.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's Streets of Rage 4. Like, it's the side scroller for people that like fighting games. Look at this combo system.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know?
I like how they even made the practice room look like the Street Fighter practice room. That's pretty funny.
They are so self-aware. I love it. I don't. I hear kids in the background too.
Yeah.
I'm so down for it, and you know this is an old man shouting to the clouds. But where is dinosaurs and Cadillacs?
Where's Primal Rage?
Primal Rage had a remake very recently. Are you
Did they?
nuts?
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Yeah, you don't pay
Yes,
attention to
no.
FGC, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a remake. It did
Did they?
okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it did okay. Same thing with Killer Instinct. It kind of did okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But they were mostly filling. They were trying to fill a void that's already full. If they came out when Mortal Kombat was making bad games, they could have had a chance.
Yeah.
But they came out after Mortal Kombat 10, after they were, you know, doing Injustice crossovers and stuff. Like poor time.
There's an Injustice animated movie coming out. Did you see that?
I know.
That looks cool. Yeah.
And also, aren't we getting Suicide Squad pretty soon?
Yeah,
Eh.
2 weeks.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it in the
Is it going to
theater.
be on? Is it going to be HBO Max?
Doesn't matter. I'm watching it in the theater, 100%.
Don't encourage them.
Hey, Maniacs, spend your money because Warner Brothers needs it.
No, they don't. They've been bought out like twice. They
I
don't need the
know.
money.
Space Jam was
Oof.
okay.
It was
But-
okay.
But, video game reference, Space Jam gave heavy nods to NBA Jam. It's pretty nice.
My favorite part of the movie was when they took Pepe Le Pew out because he was problematic, but then they put the Clockwork Orange guys in there.
Yeah. Oh, you watched the same review video I did. Was
Yeah,
that
well-
Cosmonaut that said that?
That was Cosmonaut that said it, but I remember a couple months ago, people were like, I remember reading the articles about Pepe not being in it, and I was like, okay, figures. But then somebody was like, got like a rough cut, or there was a rumor going around, like I think Heroic Hollywood reported it, and they were talking about they saw an early screener of it, and it had the Clockwork Orange guys in it, and they were just like, what the hell? Like Pepe's bad, but the Clockwork Orange guys are fine.
Oh,
But,
look at this ticker at the bottom. Oh, London.
It was.
London, not
I
a
agree.
fan.
I have my stepson. He's super into comic books. He's super into like Bugs Bunny. He's super into the NBA. He asked me for my HBO Max password to watch it, so I gave it to him, and he starts watching it in front of me. And I literally turned around, and I turned back around, and he stopped watching it. And I'm like, "What happened?" And he's like, "I've seen enough. I saw enough."
Oof.
Yeah.
And that being said, Maniacs,
So
We-
kid did not approve.
yeah,
No.
we
not
are
kidding,
brought to you by Voodoo Ranger IPA. London, we love you. Oh, sorry, Lauren, we love you.
London
London
too.
doesn't get us beer. Yeah, London,
doesn't
you're
get-
fine. You're fine. Should we pose with our cans and do a screenshot?
Yeah. Let's shill, because that's what we do at the very least on this podcast. We shill.
3 and 2 and 1.
There we go.
There we go.
Show those teeth.
These teethies, these straight teeth. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right there. That's how I open my cans. That's how I shotgun these. But remember, drink with your wallet. I know this sounds ridiculous, but know where your beer comes from and the people that are running it. That little tiny things that matter. Do that with your food. Do that with the companies that you support that make video games. Do that with clothing. Do that with your music.
Yeah.
Because dollars count. And I guess I'm segueing to the wrong thing. We're talking about something before we get into the big topic, but we are getting to that.
We have a big topic. Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, how is Blizzard not the big topic?
Hmm.
Okay.
I guess
I thought it was a big topic, but
it is.
first
it probably
and
is the main one.
foremost, the ponytailed one has been immortalized.
Yes. So everyone knows, if they know Fortnite, that they do concerts once a year. They do like a big 3-day concert thing or something, and Ariana Grande is their headliner this year.
Last year it was Travis Scott, right?
Yeah, you wanted to talk about the Travis Scott at all?
That one was like,
is Travis Scott.
how dare you, sir? How dare you not
Who's
know who
Travis
Travis
Scott?
Scott is? I've never heard him rap. I've never heard any of his music intentionally. I probably have. Just statistically speaking, I probably have. I know what he looks like. I don't know he's married to one of the Kardashians.
Blech. That's why I haven't heard him.
He had a concert in Fortnite, which I thought was kind of weird. Like, doesn't he do gangster music? Like, how does that fit? So he did a concert in Fortnite, and it got like, I don't know how many million people looking at it in Fortnite. So yeah, we're gonna get into the Fortnite cameos, but right now the one of the hour is Ariana Grande.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty great. She's still pumping out music, right?
Dude, she's like 12 years
yeah.
old. Of course she's still pumping out music. She's been pumping out music until she's like.
It's gonna be pretty funny. Hey, London, let's look up the age of Ariana Grande.
She's gonna be. We're gonna be old.
I'm pretty sure.
28.
Yeah, she's 28. Yeah, she's 28.
She's 28.
8
Yeah.
years old.
That means she was playing a teenager. She's playing a teenager.
When she was a teenager.
That was that long ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cat and whatever was that long ago?
Yeah.
Boca Raton.
She was under 18.
She's from Boca Raton, Florida. What the hell is that?
It's where Italians go.
Yeah. You ever seen Seinfeld?
Oh, is that like where people retire when the?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is Boca Raton.
You ever seen Seinfeld when he goes the episodes where he goes and visits his parents in Florida? That's where
Those
live.
are my favorite episodes of all time.
Yeah. When he bought his dad the Cadillac and everybody got all jealous of the Cadillac.
He bought me a car.
Yeah.
Why'd you take the space pen? I didn't take the pen.
Yeah.
Okay, heard. Well, Ariana Grande. Now, does she game?
She might.
I mean, she's 28, so probably.
Yeah, I know Asuka from WWE games. I know
Meg
Michelle
Thee
Rodriguez games. I know. Aren't there a handful of porn stars that game?
I mean, gaming's ubiquitous these days. Like, especially what do you consider gaming? Like, anybody who's like 30 and under definitely does in some form, I would say.
It's fair. Marika picks it up and drops it all the time.
Yeah. People game. When we were kids, we were the freaks because it was like just kids gaming and like older people that were considered freaks because they game because kids do that. But now it's like, I mean, I'm the one that put a tablet and a controller and stuff in my kids' hands. Like the first memories that my oldest son probably has is his mom playing Left 4 Dead. Like that's one of his earliest memories, probably.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, that's freaking nuts. Yeah, I guess it's the zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say everybody's playing games, they may or may not be playing a game from a famous conglomerate, huge company that is in some hot water.
They've been in hot water, but now it's one of those things where you just can't deny it anymore. They've been in hot water for about 15 years, to be honest with you. But,
Maniacs, this podcast is not brought to you by Activision Blizzard. 100%.
No, nor will we take their money. I said we shill earlier. I'm not taking their money because it's the devil's money and it will poison.
It's the devil's lettuce, baby. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to play a lot of Overwatch. When I say a lot, I meant a couple hours a week. But I had some friends that played it. But all of my friends that play it aren't really on PS4 anymore. And I couldn't ever really make the switch to keyboard mouse because I suck. And so I just
can't seem to figure out how to get the console to connect.
Well, I finally did figure out, and then by that point, everybody was over the game. I played maybe 2 times with the Goon Squad, and they were like, "Oh, you know how to play this game?" I was like, "Well, I understand the game sense. I've been playing it for 2 years, so yes, I know how to heal. I love playing support."
After hating on it for 2 years, listeners, I just got to keep throwing that out there. I'm just saying, like, things can turn around. So, like, just because you think you don't like something,
I don't like the hype machine, and I got into it later.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, never say never, people, especially when it comes to games.
Oh my God, am I gonna get into football at some point? Say it isn't so.
Maybe not. Football's kind of whack now. Same thing with the NBA.
It's been whack.
No,
Football's-
it's way whack now. Like way whack. At least back in the day, they could like knock each other out, and like there was actually stuff that happened, and like people would actually make plays, and it was like I don't know what happened.
now-
I don't know
but
either.
now we have Street Fighter. Just watch that or watch the UFC.
Yeah.
Don't need to watch football for that on a chance that something might happen.
Well, UFC is a singular sport. Like football is like a team sport. So unless you want the like singular dynamic, it's like
I
tennis
see what
and
you
stuff, you know.
Oh, should we do? Hey, Activision Blizzard, get us out of the hole and give us a 4v4 UFC game.
They can't because the other evil bastard company, EA, owns the rights to the UFC.
Oh
games.
man,
So holler at
they're
them.
all evil.
They are. I heard FIFA might go free to play, which would not be shocking. Torture apologist exec. Yes, her right here. So I brought this up on the show seemingly randomly a couple months ago. I guess about over a year.
Torture apologist.
Yes. You guys remember when I brought this up on the show? How they had just hired somebody who used to work for Bush, and she was one of the heads of the Homeland Security under George W. Bush.
Oh,
And
that guy?
And she got hired at Blizzard, and we were like, that's a weird hire. What's going on there? Sage and I were actually talking about this before the show, how she came out and she was like, it's been fine for me. I haven't had any problems with any of this stuff. Like, what's everyone talking about? I think people are just overreacting.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, of course, first of all, you're senior management. Second of all, you've been there for 4 months. Third of all, you used to work for Homeland Security. You know, all kind of goons. Somebody complains about you, they're gone. They're disappeared. They go to jail for tax evasion or something.
I believe they call it they get disappeared.
Yeah. They get erased. Like that old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, You've Just Been Erased.
Your luggage.
Yes.
Was that? Yeah, you like how I remember that? Was that Vanessa?
That was Vanessa Williams. Not Vanessa L. Williams, just Vanessa Williams. Yes.
Vanessa Williams.
Yep.
What a babe.
Yes.
And a great singer.
The former Miss Rick Fox, yes.
Wow. Well, in addition to that, people have been coming out. Twitter's been real hard on walkout ActiBlizz. ActiBlizz is like the abbreviation because of the way Twitter works with their hashtag. Oh.
Boom.
Oof. There
That's
you go.
a little editorial there from London, and I agree, London. You're spot on.
Yeah, and that said, they had a bunch of teams, like professional Overwatch teams, blacking out on the walkout day. Like
talked
they
about
shut
that.
down all their social. Well, it happened since the last episode. Like they actually followed through.
Do you guys remember like 2 or 3 years ago when we reported how they totally just shut down the Heroes of the Storm League, or what is it called? What was their MOBA?
Hots, baby.
Yeah, they just shut it down on everybody and didn't tell nobody. There's players that had moved across country into other countries, and then they just shut it down on everyone. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's Activision Blizzard right there. You guys remember when they censored a player for speaking out against Hong Kong to appease the Chinese Communist Party? Do you remember when they did that?
That's
Yeah.
the Activision portion.
Yeah, that's when I disabled, because I was playing WoW Classic at the time. That's when I was just like, I'm done, and I just canceled everything and just uninstalled, and I'm just like, I'm never putting this shit back on my computer ever again. Yeah.
It's really interesting seeing the Blizzard personalities reacting to it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Yeah, but Zoe, one of the main commentators / interviewers and hosts for the Overwatch League, she's been pretty active talking about it, but she's also an employee of Activision Blizzard, and she kind of put up a post like, hey, not everybody is legally allowed to speak out against the things that are happening right now, so please be patient and please be kind. Because you got to remember, as someone that both of you have worked for companies like that, some of these teams and personalities are on hard NDAs right now.
Dude, they fired the 2 announcers that were interviewing the guy because the guy said the thing on his show. So they fired the announcers who were on the show, who simply had the guy on the show like they normally would. The guy said the thing, and all 3 of them are gone. So yeah, I get it.
So some people are being quiet. Some teams are swinging wild. Florida Mayhem made like a post the day of the announcements about doing the walkout and the articles and everything, and bless them, And then some other article, some other teams just keep their social media going. Hey, here's highlights from this week of online plays with Overwatch League. On Kevin Corbett. Yep. And they're all gonna go to, hey, take them over to Capcom. Capcom needs a shooter. Whoa. Saberings, why are you muted?
We're bad. Yeah, I'm sure some of them will go over there. I mean, there's a lot of companies right there in that area. You'll see Square Enix picking some of them up. You'll see Capcom picking some of them up. You see Sega of America picking some of them up.
Oh wait, what's the company that we do like that's big? Because you know me, I'm a Capcom shill, but EA is dead to us. Activision Blizzard is dead to us. Riot is dead to us.
A big company that we like, kind of by default, Valve, even though they're not flawless.
That's true. Valve,
even though they're not flawless and they have their foibles and their fuck ups, like
I know people that work for them.
In general, I like them. So,
I know people that work for them, and I know they require a lot from their employees.
Dude, I was trying to get into Valve for like 4 years, and I was just like, I'm just gonna just network my ass off. Somebody I know is gonna know somebody that works at Valve, and finally it happened. I ended up working for the Windows Experience team. You guys remember Windows 7's Service Pack 2? You're welcome.
Hey.
I used to test that. But I had a friend that worked on that team, and one day he was like, hey, you want to go to lunch? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, I'm meeting some friends, and they work at Valve. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Like, finally, it's happening, right? And before this, I literally had called up all these agencies I used to work with and was like, do you guys contract for Valve? And half of them didn't even know what I was talking about. And like, how can you contract in software? You don't know who Valve is. That's so strange to me. So I ended up going to lunch, and I met two people that work at Valve. And I asked them, like, first of all, do you guys contract? Do you guys have QA? And they said, nope, we don't contract. It's just all full-timers. And secondly, we don't QA. All our developers QA everything. And I'm like, that explains Valve time. That's why everything takes Valve time. And he's like, he laughed. And he was like, yes, because we have to test all of our own stuff. And thirdly, I found out, and this is getting back all the way back to what you were saying, how they ask a lot of their people. If you go in there for graphic design, you have to be good at graphic design, but you also have to be equally as good at something else, whether that's coding.
Yeah, they take people that wear tons of hats.
Yes. Yes. You have to be good at something else as good as the thing that they hired you for. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So that said, let us know in the chat. We got Hot Riku Girl still hanging out with us, and I guess Elizabeth got a little quiet over on the YouTube chat, but we're on there. Tag us, text us. Me and Sage Bell are pretty active on Instagram. Saverings ... is very elusive, but you can get him, especially if you're on Final Fantasy 14. Hit him up and talk to us about this Activision.
Ping me. I would say ping me on Twitter. That's probably where I look the most, because I'm always flaming people or trolling or lurking. So if you tag me or at me or something on Twitter, I'll see it.
Okay, and then the penultimate topic. Who's 99 Math, my friends?
Oh, okay. So 99 Math is like they're a company, right? They are a math platform for education, so it's like a teaching platform.
Okay.
And they raised $1 million to help with their ed tech gaming platform. It's a platform to help teachers and students like together, kind of thing. So you can get like a class score. It's tutors and such. Let's see. Our first goal was to build a product that teachers would actually want to use in a classroom. We optimized that tool for teachers to use in a classroom.
See, here's the thing. These guys look like I've worked with all four of these people before. I've worked IT for like 13 years. I feel like I've worked with all three of them before. They look like people in IT to me. Yeah, so it makes total sense. I had to throw that out there.
They're saying, for some kids, math's the hardest and most boring subject, but games are designed for the player, and when designed well, they can actually be incredibly engaging. So they're trying to make games out of math to make kids, more engaged in math and
they've been talking about this since the 80s, since I was in school and we had the first Mac in our classroom.
Oh yeah, the floppies, baby.
And like here's the part that's mind blowing, right? Okay, say you're EA, say you're Activision. Instead of like shitting on your games and ruining it for all your players and throwing the microtransactions in there, why don't you think about this? Think about if EA, Activision, Blizzard, any of these companies, think about if they were like, let's have an educational division where we put the same craftsmanship, the same writers, all that shit, and we make something educational out of it. Where a player could play like 1 through 50 over the course of a school year, and as you're playing, it teaches you, as you're leveling up and stuff, it teaches you math. As you're doing this, it teaches you resources and how to like put stuff in the bank and save for things. If a company like that actually made a legit game that was actually fully on educational too, like sky's the limit. Like who would not pay for that?
Or even better, you put out incentives of an existing successful game.
Yeah.
Like the old Skylanders or even Fortnite. Be like, hey, this helmet is 500 points. But if you do this little math puzzle, it'll be 100 points.
And my kids play games like that all the time. There's a game called I'd have to ask them. But there's this game, and it's very Final Fantasy-esque, and it's a straight role-playing game. But then you get to boss fights, and it's like 7 times 8 is what? And it looks like something that you would have done at school for like practicing your multiplication. And I'm like, you guys are playing this willingly? And they're like, oh yeah. And they're like super into it. And then they fight this boss, and then it's like 16 divided by X is what? And you're just like, you guys are doing this on purpose? Like, you like this? And they're like, oh yeah. So something like that.
There has been a few games where I've been blindsided by something like that. And I'm just like, oh crap, math, what? Oh no, it's a puzzle. Like,
hang on. I'm gonna ask him what that game is.
Okay.
I don't quite remember. Oh, the kids. Okay.
Yeah. So that said, when I did QA, my third game I had was Jumpstart World. It was a learning game. It was a 3D adventure, like sandbox game. And it was exactly that. If you wanted to repaint your house, you had to get points by doing like math problems or putting together sentences at the school or at the like community center in their world. It was fun.
I did the ones because I was really bad with like writing. So in English classes in general. So like math was easy to me, but like the other things were hard as a kid. So I had those interactive games, but they also had Magic School Bus with like science, and so those were fun games.
Beakman's World.
But they had Reader Rabbit, and so you could do different reading levels. And then there was like a writing essay version of a different game that I thought was cool, but I was really bad at writing, so I didn't really like do the writing parts. I did the other games in the game.
I mean, that is a fantastic idea. I wish a bigger game company would do something like that. The only time I could think of anything that's even close to that is Capcom. No, it wasn't Capcom. Who did Typing of the Dead? You are muted, my friend.
That's Capcom and Sega.
Sega.
Mm-hmm. They're still Capcom though.
No.
Yeah, one of them Capcom.
They had Resident Evil.
One of them Capcom worked on, I thought.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah, it was like a joint. I would say the closest I've seen to getting it pretty much right is Minecraft, because Minecraft has creative mode, survival mode, adventure mode, and then there's an educational mode. And that's built into the game. So you can buy like the base version of Minecraft and it has that on there.
Oh, okay. Well, that said, since we're getting close to that magic hour, this will be the final thing I'm going to tell you about in reaction to learning games and learning, and also to help support people that have walked out or quit jobs where they're completely marginalized or harassed. There is a company that I've donated to this week, and I think some other people maybe on the podcast have also. It's Black Girls Code. It's a fantastic organization that helps probably the most marginalized group in video games is women of color learn to code and get into like the industry.
Yeah. And I would say it's basically because they don't think that they can, or they just never, I might as well be an astronaut. Like, no, can you turn on a computer? You're halfway there. It's really not that complicated. And but I think like there's like this big artificial barrier in front of it. And I think just telling people that you can do it look at me, I'm no genius, and I've been doing it for like almost 15 years. So,
and this
You
was
can do
linked
it.
to me by the LA Gladiators Overwatch League team. They put out a post that said, "We stand in solidarity with, the Blizzard Activision employees. Here are some organizations that they would like you to support in solidarity." And I went and clicked this. I think I scrolled 2 pages and I said, "Yeah, that's for me."
yeah, I think the biggest word they can do is just go, you can actually do it. Like nobody's stopping you.
Yeah,
Like,
and they do a bunch
go
of
do
stuff,
it.
right?
Yeah.
It's hands-on training. It's everything. It's just giving them the tools and the encouragement to go towards something that's not usually the path that they're expected to do.
Yeah,
It's great.
I think people just need to just know it's not this big, unattainable. You don't have to go to med school or do anything crazy. Just start from the bottom if you have to. Get that experience, network, and just work your way up. But it's not impossible.
Truth.
And just tell people you can do it. That's it.
Word. And I'm gonna go make sure London puts this link on our Facebook, and I'm gonna share a post or 2 for the Instagram and Twitter, and make sure this gets on everybody that loves this beautiful podcast, because I love it. Kind of like last summer when everybody was getting all upset. I told them, "Hey man, I know we're stuck at home, but did you do anything?" And they're like, "No."
That's putting it mildly. I like how you put that. They got last summer
upset.
When everyone got all upset.
Yeah, I got upset last summer, and every now and then when I was getting really like bothered by it, I would just open up the ACLU and just go, "There's some money to fight against the people that I don't like right now," and then I could sleep better. Because otherwise, I just typed a bunch of comments on somebody that might be a bot. That's not going to help me sleep better.
Yeah.
It's going to make me crazy. But yeah, throw dollars at it, and every little bit helps. Bernie got so far with $25 donations from people, So give what you can. Black Rose Code. Check it out. That is my final statement as Lana Brown, at Lana Brown on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, I am Gross Def with a PH on PlayStation and Steam. We're going to go with a F. Gross Def. And we're going in the reverse, the deep hook, the reverse rotation. We're going to Sage Val, our favorite streamer and the most untall host.
I'm the shortest host.
Future bunny girl.
I mean, I've been a bunny girl if you want to get technical.
Cosplay's coming back, baby.
Yeah.
I was like, because SakureCon's during Easter, so I would wear like Easter bunny ears at SakureCon. Anyways, Sage Bell on Twitch, Twitter. There's a spider in my room. And I'll see you Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on my stream, and we'll find out what I'm playing. Follow me on Twitter to find out what's up. You can look at my Instagram if you want, sagebell_model. I don't quite always update that, but it exists, so you can go check it out.
I'm having more fun watching your face. Watch the spider.
I'm trying to figure out how if I have anything to like catch it with or murder with before it runs away.
Spiders are good. Spiders are on our side.
I don't want it in my room. I just want to take it out of the room. But I got nothing, so I just have to stare.
And we're gonna kick it over to.
Hi. This is the Save Rings. ... Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, London.
Spiders are all right. I don't mind them.
I'm okay with them too.
Yeah, I just kind of leave them be. I'll definitely kick them out of my space, but like I won't kill them usually if I don't have to. Spiders and fear of small holes. Find me online. Join me on the Midgar Summer server on Final Fantasy 14. Ping me. My name's Baby Shoes, the Stalwart Paladin.
I hate that name so much.
Baby Shoes.
Oh God, I hate it.
It's so dope. And find me on Twitter. Like I said, that's probably where I'll see you if you wanted to reach out. It's V-Gaming, all one word, on Twitter, or Midlife Comics. I'm usually on V-Gaming because I'm usually trolling some poor video game company somewhere. If I'm trolling something pop culture like Star Wars or something, I'm on Midlife Comics. Follow on both. I'll see you on there then. That's about it, really. Just check us out on the Steam group. I haven't really been plugging that. We do post updates and when the podcast is broadcast on the Steam group. So if you're on Steam and
right.
you're too lazy or too antisocial to be on the other things, follow us on Saltier Podcast on Steam. You'll get notifications when we're broadcasting on there too. That's about it, really. Everybody, be safe. Watch out for this smoke that's outside if you're in the Puget Sound area. Have you guys been noticing that? We're picking up some of that smoke from the other side of the state.
I can feel it.
Yeah. Like the sun is orange when it's setting, like orange doesn't look right. And everybody just be safe and have a good time out there and buy GameStop stock if you can. And buy GME if you can. And just be kind to each other and have fun gaming. That's all I got.
The freaking fantastic adios and see you later. I think that's the correct way to peace out of a podcast. This has been Salt Tier Podcast 129 Maniacs. Thanks to you for joining us. Remember to drink all of the Voodoo Ranger, all of it responsibly. # live rangerously. We will see you soon. PAX is coming up. We'll see you in person. Hit us up. We will likely have a treat for you to maybe visit the possible beer garden. I'm going to make an assumption that we're going to have one. They're going to do something. Voodoo Rangers into gaming because Lauren's a badass. And thank you to, once again, Craving Amazing. And bonus round.
Yeah.
Go check out the next bonus one. Shout out to Goon, PNW.
Yep.
Catch those hands will freaking body you. I know he could freaking just dust me in that game by now. And thanks for being here. Thanks to our 5th and 6th Beatles.
Yeah.
Hot Rico Girl 16 and Elizabeth Funzelda.
For sure.
And this has been a production of Yada Yada Yada. Thank you kindly. Deuces!